There have been several conversations about the potential sale of Mavin Records and what it means for Afrobeats. Why do you think the Billboard article came out?
Man, so that article came as a surprise. People were not expecting to see it in the news that Mavin's record was potentially up for sale or for acquisition, and I think it shouldn't have come as a surprise, because Don Jazzy has mentioned it a couple of times that he might be open to partnership and to acquisition, but the Billboard article kind of comes like, okay, what's happening here? Like someone somewhere wanted people to know what's going on. It feels strategic. It feels like there are conversations going on behind the scene, and maybe as it is, it's not going the way one person wanted to go. So maybe there are issues around valuation, or maybe it just feels like someone somewhere wanted people to know what's going on, and the article feels strategic. That's what I think.
All right. So another question that's really on everyone's lips right now is what's the reason why Mavin is trying to sell? What's the reason why they're
Why
selling?
why can't he sell? No big company. I mean for real. Like, so I mean, Don Jazzy has been in the music business for 20 years. First from Mo It, now with Mavins. With Mavins for a decade, right? Maybe over a decade, sir, since 2012 to now. So during that time, right, he has achieved remarkable success. Remarkable success. And perhaps he's thinking, right? Perhaps he's thinking this is the time to partner up. This is the time to sell. This is time to cash out. Like, possibly. And also, I mean, Mavins used to have a deal, or not used to. Mavin raised capital from Kupanda Holdings, like Kupanda VC, as venture capital. And when a company raises capital, raise funding, you have to bear it in mind that at some point they're going to possibly do another round of funding, right? So when they choose to partner up with Kupanda Capital, it positions them for a future acquisition or a future round of funding. That money they got for Kupanda Capital at that point, they possibly could have gotten it from maybe any major, because Mavins is good business. Everybody wants to partner up with Mavin. They have deals with Interscope, Platoon, Virgin, like for different artists, right? Amplifying those artists' music internationally. So they could have gotten that money from any major, but they choose to partner with a VC, a venture capital, because it's good for the optics. It shows that you are a business that just doesn't entirely lean towards entertainment alone. So now Mavins is under Mavin Holdings, and Mavins Holdings, they have interest in entertainment, real estate, stuff like that, right? So it's a whole business. It's a whole business. So there's always that possibility that there's going to be another round of funding, another round of raising funds, and another opportunity for them to partner up with the company or even sell and cash out, right? So I think that's what's going on right now, based on the article and based on conversations going on, that possibly the time has come for Don Jazzy to partner up, take it higher, or possibly even cash out and move on.
Right. So one might argue that Mavins is like they're at their peak right now. The artists are succeeding, breaking frontiers and all. Why exactly are they selling now? Why do you think now is the right time for them to sell?
See, it's the best time to be in Nigerian music. Nigerian music is it's doing madness globally. Everybody wants a piece of the action. So we can ask, why in 1884, why did the Europeans come to Africa to partition territories in the Berlin Conference? It was the scrabble for colonies now, in search of resources. And that's what we're seeing right now. So Afrobeat is the next frontier in global music. That's the prediction. That in global music, Afrobeat is the next big thing. And the success of Nigeria would likely be replicated in other African music industries, right? And whoever owns a stake, whoever owns the biggest label in Nigeria, possibly Africa, is going to have a lot of power in the future. So right now, it's a great time for Afrobeat, and people are looking into the business. People are looking to come to Nigeria and invest money so they can cash out, right? And Mavins, when you want to acquire a label in Nigeria or a label in Afrobeat, I mean, which one rather than Mavins, right? And for Mavins themselves, it makes sense. I mean, that's for the investors, right? For the investors, it makes sense because Afrobeat is big, African music is growing, the projections look good, right? That's on the business side for the investors. But for Mavins themselves, it's also a good time because there's high demand now for Afrobeat, and their catalog is huge. They are doing fantastically well commercially. They have ridiculous success, certifications from different countries. Look at what Rema's Calm Down is doing. Arasta has Rush, Bayani has Tatata, Ladipo has Feel Good, Boy Spice has songs that are doing madness across Africa. Like they have a publishing company right now, and they have producers, super producers like Andrew Vibes and London. They have songwriter like Embryo, right? So when you look at all this, like it's a good time for them to say, okay, we have something the world wants, something international company wants, right? And it's a great time to sell. And you also consider that even in the West, in America, in Europe, people are buying catalogs now. Katy Perry recently sold a catalog. Justin Bieber sold his. Ryan Tedder and Shakira sold their catalog to Hypnosis. So I bought Scooter Brown's record label, Scooter Brown's company, and bought Taylor's discography that led to the old double. So people are buying catalogs right now. And it was only a matter of time before this kind of conversations get into Afrobeat. And it's not surprising that once the conversation gets into Afrobeat, the label everyone is talking about is Mavins. I don't know. I genuinely do not know if Mavins is worth $125 million, right? Okay. But this is what I know. When you value a company, a lot of things comes into play. A lot of factors are considered. Now, for Mavins, if you look at the record label side of it, right? They have remarkable catalog. Their catalog is huge with albums, EPs, successful singles, right? They have publishing with producers like Andrew Vibes, London, super producers. They have Embryo, who is a songwriter, a certified hit maker. So you have to value that catalog. And it's huge. That's huge money, right? Mavins as a brand, like the name Mavins itself, the soft power it carries, right? People want to be associated with that brand. When you maybe you want to do an event, right? And you tell people that, oh, Mavins is one of your partners. They want to listen to you. They want to listen to what you have to say because Mavins is a powerful brand. So you have to consider that as well. And also, Mavins raised capital from Kupanda holders. And when you raise capital, that capital becomes part of your debt. You have debt, you have assets, and these things combine to make up valuation, right? So that capital becomes part of their debt, and it's going to be factored into their valuation. So possibly that's why we're seeing huge numbers around the regions of 125 to 200 million. Is Mavins worth that much? I do not know, but when you consider everything, then you get a general idea of how huge the company is.
All right. So this sale, if it goes through, do you think it's a good thing for Afrobeats as a genre or cultural movement? Yeah,
there's been a lot of conversations since that article dropped, right? Consumers have been skeptical, be like, I don't think this is good for Nigerian music. I don't think it's like great, like that. That the biggest label in the country is open to acquisition by a foreign entity, right? And to be honest, there's some truth in it. Right now, if you look at Afrobeat right now, let me put it like this: like the best thing about Afrobeat is being exported. Yes, the most let me not say the most interesting things, but the most valuable things about Afrobeat is being exported. The artists don't live here. They don't tour here. So when they don't tour here, they don't make a lot of money here, and the money doesn't go around in the industry because in the Nigerian market, because touring companies, people they will hire normally, they're not here, right? When the artists make money, they come here, they go clubbing at times, spend a couple of weeks, buy houses, and go back there. So the money doesn't even really stay here. Yeah. Right, so these artists, they don't stay here. Everything has been exported. The labels that manages these artists, the labels that make this decision, they don't stay here. Right, so the way it is right now, a lot of money is being taken out of Afrobeat. I mean, Afrobeat, a lot of money is being put into Afrobeat, but it's just because they want to also take a lot of money out of it. Right, so when they put that money into Afrobeat, when that money is now made, a lot of that money is not retained in Nigeria. It is taken out of Nigeria. Right, for example, look at huge companies like UMG, like Sony and Co. For movies to music, when they make money, when they, like Barbie, for example, now, right, when the movie dropped and it grossed billions, over $1 billion in sales, right?
Yeah.
A huge chunk of that money is going to go back to the US.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but in Nigeria, the reverse is actually the case, right? So when two of the biggest labels in the world, or two of the biggest companies in global entertainment, rather, IBE and UMG, are looking to acquire the biggest label in Nigeria, then you have to understand that people have reasons to be concerned because they are going to come to Nigeria, pumping money and make money, and a lot of that money will still not stay in Nigeria. It will be taken out. So as it is now, the money in Afrobeat is being taken out faster than it is being kept in it. Yeah, pump back in. So I just feel like that's one part of it, right? That's one part of it, but it is not really. If people say it's not entirely a good thing that maybe an American company or a South Korean company like I wants to acquire Mavins, there's some elements of truth in it here.
All right. So I feel like you have answered a little bit of the question I'm about to ask you, but regardless, what do you think the impact of this sale will have on Nigeria and Afrobeats generally?
It's going to be, if this sale does go through, right?
Yeah.
It's going to have a monumental impact.
Hmm.
It's going to have a monumental impact. It's about like it's always important when someone does something first and show that it can be done. That's how Afrobeats to the world started. Like, it was a gradual process. And the likes of Wizkid and Davido showed that okay, we could actually do this thing. And now the world is dancing to Afrobeat. Right? So if this sale does go through, what we're likely to see is more companies trying to partner up or trying to acquire Nigerian entertainment companies and labels. You understand? Like, right now, China has massive influence in Africa. They are very influential when it comes to Africa, and that's because they invested a lot in African infrastructure. When the West would not borrow a third world African country money, China would gladly borrow them. Yeah. Right? And now they use that resources, that investment to buy soft power, to buy actual power. Right? Actual power. So now IBE, like in the Billboard article, 2 companies were listed as the potential, the most favored companies to acquire or partner up with Mavins, IBE and UMG. IBE is a South Korean company. UMG is an American company. Now IBE is buying stuff up in US, like acquiring stuff in US. Like they're making a statement that the South Korean entertainment industry is huge, and you guys will not just own us, right? We can own you guys too. So now Afrobeat is the next frontier, and these 2 companies are coming here. Going by the article, right, to try to buy the biggest label or to partner with the biggest label. So this is just like another example of the East versus West kind of competition. Yeah. It's Korea versus US. So they possibly would not want to lose out. So whoever acquires the company, whoever partners up with Mavins eventually, would open the door to more Nigerian companies partnering up, right? So this is not to say there's possibly not conversation going on the ground, right? Some companies might have been in conversation, some labels might have been in conversation, and we know labels have always partnered up with international companies, right? But not at the level we're seeing at this Mavins level, right? So if things like this have been going on the ground before, if this Mavins deal does go through, then it's going to become more public. We're going to get to know about it more. On how to possibly affect Afrobeat itself, like, the way we make music, the way our artists create music, and possibly the market itself. And there might be concerns that if this kind of money comes in, they might change the way we do things. They might want to alter it to fit what goes or what's obtainable in the West, or what will sell to the global audience, given that we do not really have the money to service our industry the way we would want to. So I don't think it's going to be crazy in the way people are making it seem. Number one, these investors understand that what is selling right now is what we're making, right? So they're not going to change that. They're not going to change the winning formula. They're going to let the music evolve by itself. Right now, so people like Ashake, Shea Vibes, who are speaking Yoruba predominantly, right? They are selling out shows in Europe. Why would any investor want to come and ask those kind of guys to speak English or sing in English? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You just want to make your money, and when you see that the current formula is working, then you won't change it. So that's one major part of it. And something else to consider is that, like, since we're talking about Mavins, right, Don Jazzy has made it clear that if at all is going to partner up or maybe even sell, right, aside the person, because he said the person must have a lot of money. So that's why you see that kind of valuation. You understand how much he values the company, right? Then aside that, he made it also clear that he would not walk away. That he's not going to walk away from Mavins. That Mavins is his child, it's his baby, and he's not going to abandon it. So it's going to be a situation where funding comes in, but him, Don Jazzy and his team, Don Jazzy, Tega and the team, they stay in charge. and that's how that's like a normal practice, right? Even when they raise funding from Kupanda Capital, although we could say that's a VC, it's not a label, so it's different. But at the same time, if they're getting acquired or partnering up, I think it's in the best interest of whoever is partnering with them or acquiring them to leave someone like Don Jazzy and Tega in charge of the label. Because I mean, who do you want to hire that is better than those guys? Possibly none, right? So I think in the long run, good business decisions would be made, because you see, you're coming to acquire a company like Mavins, who has been doing it for 10 years at the top, right? So you're not going to come and just alter everything overnight. And definitely Don Jazzy would not sell to anybody who would not like let him retain creative control. How it's going to impact Nigeria as a whole, aside just Afrobeat, is that we're likely to see more investment in entertainment, right? We're likely to see people like maybe Daily, Rolling Loud, this Coachella, possibly, like, yeah, maybe consider it like, okay, let's have a stop in Nigeria, right? If companies like UMG or Hype like acquire Mavins at a level where they have solid standing, not just like the Nigerian office, like at the level where they have like significant stake in the African market, then they're going to be able to influence these American brands to come set up shop here too. So that's going to be a positive for us, right? So it's not all negative, right? It's going to be a positive for us. So then it's going to also spill over into other African countries, because eventually at some point, whatever success we have with Afrobeats right now, I mean, the success we're witnessing with Africa right now is going to have to spill over into other African countries. I mean, maybe Ghana, Francophone countries and stuff like that. So, and whoever owns Mavins is going to have a lot of power in the future. And I think these companies recognize that they understand it. They recognize it, that whoever owns the biggest record label in Nigeria is going to have a fundamental role to play in shaping the continent in the years to come. So, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's not. I feel the positive outweighs the negative, right? So what do we have to do as an industry? What needs to be done as an industry is just to understand that once these investments are coming in, right, the industry players, the ecosystem, they have to find a way to make sure that this investment, this money, gets to stay in Nigeria faster than it leaves Nigeria, and that's factual.